Beat by Tom
This week, for the first time ever, my lovely little Canadian test subjects and I shall be watching the great action classic from 1981, Mad Max 2, simply titled The Road Warrior, upon its release in America. But as this is another one of those 40-year-old franchises, I thought it might be a good idea to give them, and all of us, a little refresher course on just what the Mad Max franchise was all about. In 1979, a man named George Miller created a movie simply titled Mad Max. Max Rokatansky was a cop living in a post-apocalyptic Australian desert where lawlessness had begun running rampant. In his souped-up cop car, he would hunt down criminals who stole whatever little gasoline was left in the area. You see, in this wasteland of a world, having vehicles is key to survival, but petrol has become very scarce, and people often fight over it as if it were liquid gold. At the time, Max was a happily married man with a loving child. So one day, of course, some bad guys decided to run down Max's wife and child with their cars and their motorcycles, killing them instantly. As you might have guessed, this made Max, well, mad. And the first film's story became about vengeance for his dead family as Mad Max ran down the bad guys all over the dirt roads of Australia. The film became a big success in Australia, so much so that a couple of years later, Miller decided to make another Mad Max movie, simply called The Road Warrior in America. For this sequel, Miller decided to focus mostly on the aspects that had made the first film so popular: the chaos, the cinematography, and the violent car chases all across the desert. Miller was starting to perfect his vision, and Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior became an international smash hit. It sort of became the standard bearer of how this post-apocalyptic genre should look and feel like in a major motion picture. So much so that, at times, you might wonder if you've ever seen this movie before. No, really. You see, for a while there, just like Freddy Krueger or Star Wars or even Indiana Jones, everyone and their neighbors was trying to rip off this hit film, all set in some sort of post-nuclear desert, all starring villains wearing heavy sports gear and driving souped-up vehicles, all trying to kill each other in new and imaginative ways. But none ever managed to recapture the essence of the movie we'll be watching this week, The Road Warrior. Not even the third one, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which Miller did not direct and which I did not really care for either. With the exception of the main title song, of course, performed by the late great Tina Turner. Rest in peace, Tina Turner. Then, 35 years later, Miller came back at the helm of the exquisite Mad Max Fury Road, starring Charlize Theron. Fury Road is probably one of the simplest storylines in cinematic history, but once again, Miller was honing in on what had made his first two movies so memorable, and gave us, with Fury Road, a Cirque du Soleil-worthy spectacle of action, suspense, colors, and chaos. I truly hope we will be able to watch Fury Road together one day, my test subjects and I, because it is really glorious. But first, they need to see how all of this actually started as a movie genre. One that has never really been successfully reproduced until Miller's dazzling Fury Road. So, enjoy the show, everybody. We shall be back next week with brand new adventures. And until then, watch out for the desert. Enjoy!